Today, let's take a look at GameStop and what the hype was all about and analyze it a little bit more so the next time this pattern appears, we know what to do and what not to do. Hello and welcome back to my channel where we talk about investing, personal finance, and dividends. If you're new here, consider subscribing to my channel and smashing that like button if you enjoy this type of video. Let's get started with hedge funds do not have all the power on the stock market anymore. Retail investors like you and me do not have a large team of analysts or a large volume of data to come up with the best times to buy and sell stocks. But we have enough money, all of us combined, and enough power to change the outcome of the stock market. Times have definitely changed and hedge funds can't make money off of us anymore. We don't need to go to someone else to manage our money for us. We can manage our own money and invest on our own, which is lovely to hear, and that's what this channel is all about, taking our personal finances into our own hands. Being educated in personal finances and not letting any fancy financial acronyms and terms get in the way of us taking control of our finances. All information is public and more accessible in this day and age with technology. Before we start, this video is not an investing advice. I can't tell you what to buy or what not to buy. This is just my analysis on the GameStop Stonks situation. Make sure you do your own research on everything that you invest in and consider if you should buy them. If you think a trade is risky, only put money in that you're willing to lose if everything goes sideways. Let's start with GME as a company. GameStop is a gaming store that sells gaming consoles and physical game CDs for those consoles. Do I think the stock evaluation for GME is actually valid? Well, there are a lot of subscription-based gaming now, like Microsoft's Xbox Gaming Pass and Google Stadia, and there's a lot of digital-based gaming like Steam, Blizzard, and Epic Games. Even though these online digital features are amazing, some gamers still want to buy physical copies of their games. Well, let's jump to last year. Not a lot of people were able to go into these stores and buy games because of the pandemic, and as a result, GameStop was struggling to keep stores open and they had to close quite a few stores down. In April of 2020, GME stock was valued at $2.80, and then it hit a high of $480 in the last 2 weeks, and then right now it dropped off to under $50. Why was this stock so crazy and why did this all happen? Hold on to your seats because there's a lot of fancy words coming up to confuse you, and hopefully I can explain them in simple terms that it all makes sense at the end of this video. GME had 120% short interest, which means people were betting against this stock. Remember when I told you the company wasn't doing well? Yeah, the hedge funds were betting against it, thinking it will go bankrupt pretty soon, like Blockbuster and FutureShop. You guys remember FutureShop? The hedge funds were shorting GME stock. In fact, they were shorting more stocks than the total amount of GME stocks available in the market. It does not make any sense, and shorting more than 100% should not be allowed. The SEC is probably going to investigate that and make sure that doesn't happen again. What is this short you keep talking about? Is it like when you can't get on a roller coaster ride, you're considered short? Nope. This is a financial term. It basically means you're betting against the stock. So you think the stock is going to do poorly in the future and the value of the stock is going to drop. So you start betting against it. How do you perform a short? Well, I'm glad you asked. So you borrow a stock that you think is going to drop in value from a stock lender and you sell it immediately. Then you wait for the stock price to drop in value and you buy back the stock at a lower price. Now you return the stock you borrowed back to the lender and any extra money that you keep is your profit. Are you confused yet? Let's take an example and go slow this time. So you think not a lot of people are going to use phone cases in the future and the value of phone cases are going to drop. If you wanted to short phone cases, how would you do it? Let's say the price of phone cases is $10 right now. You would borrow a phone case and you would sell it immediately, which will give you $10. And then let's say in the future your prediction was correct and the price of phone cases dropped to $5. Now you can buy back the same phone case for $5 and return it back to the lender, and any extra money is your profit. So you would take a profit of $5 on every single phone cases that you decided to short. But let's say, on the other hand, your prediction was wrong and the price of phone cases actually went to $20. Now you would still have to buy back that phone case and return back to your lender, but you would be buying at a price of $20 when initially you only got $10 from selling that phone case. So you would be losing $10 per phone case that you decided to short. You can make a lot of money doing this, and at the same time you could lose a lot of money doing this. Now that you understand what shorting is, let's look at why the GameStop stock blew up. In order to understand that, we gotta start with our unsung heroes, WallStreetBets. They're a subreddit community of young investors who are known for YOLOing their money and making a lot of money or losing a lot of money. It's just another subreddit like Personal Finance Canada or memes. The community is just a bunch of retail investors like ourselves who discuss finances and other investing ideas. They realized that GME was heavily shorted, like more than 100% shorted, and some hedge funds actually make all their money by just shorting companies. And the community decided to stand up against that and not let them take down GME. GME wasn't going bankrupt like these hedge funds seem to think because of other reasons, like the upcoming release of next-gen Xbox and PS5 were still supporting physical gaming discs. Ryan Cohen, who co-founded Chewy, a one-stop shop for all your pet needs, bought 10% into GameStop back in September of 2020. Which made him the largest stakeholder in GameStop. A couple of his friends from Chewy also invested in GameStop, and they were trying to change the business model and make it more e-commerce-y. Is that a word? Basically trying to support selling physical copies of the game and going on the e-commerce side and selling digital copies of the game. So WallStreetBets was like, if enough people bought these stocks and raised the price of GME to the moon, it would force the hedge funds who were heavily shorting the stock to lose money because they would have to buy back these stocks at a higher price to cover their short positions, which they still owe their lenders. Hedge funds take money from the wealthy investors and make them even more rich. They usually have so much money that they can individually push the price of the stock up and take profits. The opposite happened here when WallStreetBets all banded together and go against these hedge funds. They had a greater number of investors and enough money pooled together in order to increase the price of GameStop higher and higher, forcing the hedge funds to buy back at a higher price to cover their short positions and making them lose money. The hedge funds Melvin Capital and Citron lost over $5 billion over their short positions. Some of these hedge funds were losing so much money that they had to get bailed out by other institutions. Then suddenly a couple of brokerages stopped investors from buying more of these stocks like GME and AMC, but they allowed us to sell these stocks, which is kind of unfair to us and beneficial to those hedge funds. Because if the price can't go up anymore, the hedge funds can't lose more money than they already have. We're still not sure why those brokerages only blocked those certain stocks and whether if it's even legal to do that. These tools are supposed to help everyone have a fair play at the open market, but they were taken away from us for no good reason. There's a lot of lawsuits against these brokerages, and the SEC will probably conduct an investigation to make sure what was happening in this issue and if it's even legal for them to block us from buying certain stocks. After some time, the hype died down, there was no more media attention, and things dropped off. The price of GME right now is under $50. The same trend was seen with AMC, BlackBerry, Bed Bath & Beyond, and they all went up substantially and then dropped off. What do these have in common? They're all the most shorted stocks in the market, aka the market, the hedge fund, Wall Street thinks that these companies are going to go down in the future, and they all start betting against it. Again, just as everyone went together on GME because it was heavily shorted, they went after all these stocks because they were shorted but not as heavily as GME. At the end of the day, with these volatile and risky stocks, only put in money that you're willing to lose in these trades. You do not want to be a bag holder, meaning you bought into these stocks just for kicks or because you didn't want to miss out on any opportunity, and then being the last few to sell or even hold on to these stocks when everyone else is sold and making you the bag holder. Hopefully all that wasn't too confusing. A short recap. Hedge funds don't see a future for GameStop and decide to heavily short the stock, trying to make a lot of money off of this. Enter WallStreetBets. They discover that GameStop stock is heavily shorted and they want to go against these hedge funds. So they all gather up and buy the GameStop stock, which increases the price of GameStop like crazy, and hedge funds are forced to buy back at these higher prices trying to cover their short positions, which makes them lose money. Basically taking money from hedge funds and putting it into regular investors. Then some brokerages stopped investors from buying more stocks, and the movement stopped and the hype died down and the price of GME came crashing down to under 50. I did not participate in this retail investor versus institutional investor battle. It is a once in a lifetime moment where traditional investors like us get together and go against these hedge funds. It's the first time where we challenge the idea that retail investors are a big part of the stock market and we have some control over the market as well. Even though I do not agree with 100% of the post on WallStreetBets subreddit, I have a lot of respect for them in taking on this historical battle against the institutional investors and hedge funds, and showcasing all the loopholes and everything that is wrong with how the market works right now, like short interest being 100% and these brokerages blocking us from buying these stocks, and bringing all of this to light. I want to end the video with this. I know it's a lot of fun to group up and band together and chant, "We like the stock," or "Hold the line," and I can't tell you what to invest in or what not to invest in. Make sure you do your own research before you invest in anything. And if you're doing a trade that is slightly more riskier, only put in money that you're willing to lose in the worst case scenario. The last thing I would like to see is you guys putting your life savings into these risky and volatile stocks and losing it. Now that we have covered everything we need to know about GameStop stonk, and why it went crazy and the history behind it and how it all came crashing down, we know what to do and what not to do the next time we see a pattern like this. As always, make your money work for you, not the other way around. You could check out WallStreetBets and start investing today. I have another video that walks you through the setup. I'll leave a referral link in the description box below. If you use that link to sign up, fund your account $100 and buy some stonks with that, we'll both receive a small bonus. Let's take personal finance into our own hands and make our money work for us. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button for more content like this. Bye!